Computer. Okay. All right.
Recording
So
in
I'm
progress.
also live on Instagram, which I don't think anyone's going to be finding me for a minute. But
Oh,
we're going to find out. We're just going to throw it out there and
maybe.
just see what happens.
I don't think I have
Um,
Instagram on my phone. Maybe it's on my iPad.
so now that we've got at least you here, hi. I want to ask you first how you found me.
Okay, really, really weird. I think it was by like trick of fate sort of situation.
Okay.
I was just looking up online on Google writing seminars, and then you came up, and it was going to be like in 3 days. I'm like,
Okay.
okay. So, you are at the top of the page somewhere in Google.
Cool. I'll take it.
Yeah, yeah. So that you should know that you're at the top of the page somewhere.
I was supposed to be with the Writers Center, but they due to low signups, they wanted to move on for this one, which is fine. I understand. I'm not, but I was like, I'm gonna do it anyway. So whatever.
Yeah,
No, we're letting more followers join your video.
yeah.
So they're still doing that. So yeah, I am Chris. I am a tarot reader for Writer's Block. And
Yay.
right now you are I had a few other people interested and we're just waiting for them to come on.
Hmm.
I'm probably going to just get started since
That's
we
fine.
have a lot of stuff and I don't want to
Hmm.
waste your time any more than it's already.
I got all day.
I'm also live, so I don't want to like waste their time either.
That's true. We gotta be entertaining now.
It's all you now. It's you and
Okay,
me. It's you and me
entertaining.
having a discussion.
Man, I'm gonna carry the banter.
So, I want to start with asking you about writer's block. More of like what causes you to have writer's block? Just can you name off some things that causes you to have writer's
Um, Lack of confidence in my writing. If I
block?
don't feel like I can write, why would I write at all?
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Um, what comes next? Did I plan enough?
Okay.
Um, let's see. Do I actually know the characters as well as I think I do, or are they just sounding robotic?
Okay.
I think. Do I need to double check and go back on what I've already written to make sure I'm still on the right line? And so there's a lot of like rewrites and going back and perfecting sort of situation instead.
I wonder if people on Instagram can hear you. I'm not sure, but we're gonna
Oh.
fine. It's all good. No worries. So she was saying she has lack of confidence. It was lack of direction, not sure if she knows her characters well enough. Um,
Mhm.
it was there was mentioned a couple of other things. Uh,
Going back and rewriting instead of continuing.
Going back to rewrite instead of continuing. Sorry, I should
Mhm.
have realized that I needed to just in case. I'm not sure.
No, you're good.
So that comes down to a lot of the things that I had listed. Like, what about perfection? Like, it's kind of perfectionism is in there.
Yeah.
Um, do you ever have a fear of criticism?
No, no, because I'm pretty confident in like the world itself and I actually like it when people put their input in. I can tell when things are constructive versus not constructive and just being like mean or silly, funny sometimes. I do know the difference personally. So I think I'm okay on that.
Okay, so Harper is telling us that she is not afraid of criticism, but I know that there are people that are afraid of criticism.
Mm-hmm.
Um, does overwhelmed ever go in there? Are you ever overwhelmed by your writing?
I would say so. Yeah, I got a multi-series platform that I'm working on and lots of different character views and they all have to happen at the same time. It's a lot of timelines going on at the same time. So, yeah, very I could be more overwhelmed. I'll admit. I got
Mhm.
it pretty structured in my head, but I have tools that I've been using to help me stay kind of like this is where we are in the timeline kind of thing. So, I'm
So
not
Har
keeping myself so overwhelmed.
so just to reiterate, Harper was saying that she's not as overwhelmed as she thinks she is, or she could be.
Mm-hmm.
She's gotten me be able. She has a lot of timelines going on, so she's able to actually been able to isolate which timeline she's doing
Mm-hmm.
playing with. So, but there are writers that are overwhelmed. I want to ask more also, what about external distractions?
Oh, very, very much. I like to video game. I like to read. I'm in the military, so I'm always doing work. I have a lot of external stuff going on.
Okay, so video games, work. in the
And
military,
reading, yeah.
reading. What about also like family obligations?
No, not very many family obligations. Because I'm in the military, I'm away from my family, so I
Okay.
am in that seclusion area in my life
Okay.
right now where I'm kind of focused on me.
Okay, so she's not family obligations, but you might be family
You
obligations.
might be.
Um, do you ever experience burnout?
Yes, a
Like
lot. Mm-hmm.
just too tired to even work on anything kind of a thing?
Mm-hmm. It's like,
You
do I
think?
really want to spend my energy on this? I just worked 12 hours.
And
Mm-hmm.
then you've said your lack of structure, you've said a lack of direction because you didn't know if you know what comes next.
Mm-hmm. Because,
Uh,
like, especially if you're a first time writer and you've never done it before and you don't know if you're doing it right to begin with and you don't have a mentorship or anything going on, then you're dead in the water. You don't know if you're doing it correctly.
mhm.
So, mm-hmm.
You mentioned self-doubt.
Mm-hmm.
We said external. Do you have any external pressures that causes you to make, not external direct distractions, but like pressures that
Mm-hmm.
make you not want to be able to or not be able to write?
External pressure. Um, yeah, I would say my family's very religious and their views may not exactly line up to what I'm writing.
Okay.
Because I do challenge theology a lot in my book. It's a lot of question. It's a very Socrates type view on things. Why? And we start to question things. But in my family, to question is also considered blasphemy. So there's that. Would if I ever did write a book, would I publish it, and would my family accept it?
Mhm. So Harper
So.
was saying that she's going against family beliefs is kind
Mm-hmm.
of an outside pressure. She likes to question theology, and her family may not be quite involved with that or might quite happy with that kind of a thing. Um, do you ever compare yourself to other writers?
Yes. Mostly just the fact of they're successful and I'm not yet. That's
Okay.
mostly it.
Okay. Well,
Mm-hmm.
they were all that. Now, one thing to remember with that, those they were exactly where you are at one point.
Mm-hmm. At one point.
At one point, they were exactly where you are. So, um, do you have health problems at all that kind of like distract you from writing and being creative?
No, but I know that's a really weird, like real thing, you know? Like I know that can be a thing for some people. But
Because that
no,
because that could
probably ADHD trying to like scatter around and do a lot of stuff at once. But I'm
that's
not
I
not
mean,
diagnosed.
I don't know that I have ADHD. I think I'm autistic, but I haven't. That's self-diagnosis, but that's a whole different story. um, what about life events? Like, do you like I'm when I say life events, I kind of like I know we've kind of discussed family and jobs and stuff, but I'm thinking more like other graduations or other jobs or other
Mm,
or do you have any other or birthdays or do you have any other life events that come up to mind?
um No, not really. Nothing that I can really think of. I'm kind of like dead in the water where I'm stationed. I got dogs that I pour my life into recently, so there's
Because
that.
I just for some reason I'm going to go a little dark here and say there's sometimes a funeral that gets in the way.
Yeah,
Sometimes
sometimes there is.
funeral those feelings.
I had a character die in January,
Uh,
and like in like the story processes constantly in my head. I have a it's a mental thing, but it's a form of schizophrenia where the story's going to continue to roll no matter what I do. And so I had New Year's Eve. I had a character die, and I worked with that character for 7 years at that point.
oh wow.
And I mourned, and I just got out of mourning like a month ago.
So
I
Harper
I could not write.
so Harper was working on a character for 7 years, and we were discussing how funerals can cause writer's block. And she
Mm-hmm.
was working on a character with a character for 7 years, and she killed him, uh,
They killed themselves. I didn't do it.
killed themselves on New Year's Eve, and she is just now getting out of the mourning phase.
I
So
did check the Instagram, and they can hear me. By the way,
I can hear you, and
yeah,
I
if that makes it easier for you.
does. I don't. That means I don't have
You don't
to.
have to keep crossing over.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about it. Yeah, they
Yep.
can hear me. I
Awesome.
thought that'd be nice to check real quick.
That is good to
Just
know.
soundboarding, just soundboarding. Your little assistant in this situation. Just
Good to know.
kidding.
And then the last one that I actually have is more like, are you ever scared of the blank screen?
I can't remember a time where I've had a blank screen. I'm not gonna lie. I've written for about 8 years now, working on the same story for
Okay.
8 years. Which means the last time I had a once upon a time or the beginning or the blank scenario was 8 years ago. And I've been trying to build off and rewrite since. I did have to scratch 40,000 words and restart. But even when I did that, I used what I had before and I used it as like a carry, like it kind of coasted me into where I am right now. So
Okay. So I'm gonna go and move on to the new section and just kind of say, um, what do these all these blocks, how do they make us feel? Oh, I'm sorry. That's not the right section I wanted to go to. I want to go to what do
I'm
they
sorry
block?
if you can hear me.
What can these blocks that we've discussed, can they block us from?
Okay. Which blocks were they?
Oh no, I'm just saying the ones that we just
Oh,
all
things that
of,
like keep us from writing.
yeah,
Okay.
what can they keep us from?
They can keep us from pursuing
Hmm.
your passion. The longer it takes for you to find progress in something you love, the more likely you can deem yourself inadequate at it. I'm not good at it because I haven't produced anything, or I have nothing to show for it, or I've been working this long and I haven't done anything worth mentioning. And so
I've got unworthy. I've got um you said there was something here that you said that got me out, got me, where did it go? Not good enough, you said. Um and there was productivity is the one right above it.
yes.
Productivity. So the other ones that I'm gonna actually kind of mention too are like family time and vacation time. Sometimes when we are discussing writer's block, um it just kind of, our families and our vacation times are, because some you want to reward yourself sometimes with vacation times. And if I can get 40,000 words, I can give myself vacation or something of that nature.
Right.
Sometimes you can't get that, and then you can't give yourself, you can't feel yourself worthy enough to give yourself the vacation time.
Right.
And on top of that, we're going to go also with self-care time.
Ah.
Self-care, you want to make sure that you can actually have, you're eating and hydrating properly when you're writing,
Right.
being creative.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of mentioned negative thoughts already.
Mm-hmm.
I have an audience written down as one of my things. Like sometimes people, I feel like, are scared of getting an audience, and
Mm-hmm.
they don't really want, they feel like they need an audience before they can talk, kind of.
Right.
But you don't need an audience before you can talk. You can always just talk. That's what social media is created for us. I mean, there's pros and cons to that, yes, but we'll
Right.
move on from that.
Mm-hmm.
um Also, there's a thing called having written as well. There's that feeling that you get when you have written something versus
Mm-hmm.
versus waiting to write something. Kind of like there's that kind of different. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Sharing your voice. And then the other thing I was going to say, the last thing that I have here is kind of money. Like you just kind of like don't know how much money you're going to get, if it's worth it, because you want to be paid
Yeah.
creativity enough. Like that's kind of a thing. So
Mm-hmm.
they kind of, that's good. So they all kind of make us feel a little off, like a little
Mm-hmm.
unproductive.
Right.
Um, but I want to now discuss, let's take all those negatives and
Mm-hmm.
change them to positives. What do we want to feel when we're writing and being creative?
Um, like a master world builder
Okay.
that all of the potholes and all the devices that we've used correctly. That if we listen to podcasts or if we listen or we go on blogs and we take information from other writers, if we're researching that, we're applying them correctly and we're doing the perfect puzzle piece the first try.
Mm-hmm. I have also, we want to feel self-acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to stop comparing ourselves to others. So we live in our own little world. Because it's kind of like the exact opposite of what we already said. Available for family and friends. You can actually compartmentalize.
You can share it with family and friends.
Share with family and friends. Share with family and friends your productivity, how far you've come along. You can also feel healthy. You're drinking water right now. Like we can finally I have a heart.
I just had COVID.
Oh no.
Today's like my first day not sick. So
yay. I'm glad that you could spend it with me. Structured, motivated, confident, worthy, all these things we can kind of feel when we're in a good position when we're writing. Instead of thinking all the negative things, why don't we get all the positive things and focus more on those happy feelings? And that's what I kind of feel like the tarot can bring into your writing process. So now before I go into tarot completely, what do you when I say the word holistic, what words come to mind?
Holistic. Actually, I'm drawing a blank. I don't remember what that word means.
Well, it's kind of like
my vernacular just failed me.
It's all good. It's more of like
isn't like spiritual?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. So my first thought was like spiritual.
Yep. There's spiritual stuff. There's also natural remedies. Like I have on my things written down here, witchcraft.
Okay.
Runes, yin and yang, yin and yang, something like that.
Somewhere of that nature.
Hypnosis, therapy.
Oh, I'd love some hypnosis. That'd be great.
Healing, yoga, psychics,
meditation,
astrology. We got one person. We're adding another person in here.
Friend. When they join, they have to be my friend. You have to be my friend now.
She's actually in the group as well.
Woo.
So you can meet her in the group. I have a Facebook group, and these are a part of it. And I need to also, I have to start messaging you. I just haven't had a chance to.
You're fine.
Santisha, are you here?
A friend?
Yes, I'm here.
There you go. There you go. So Santisha, this is Harper. She's also in the Facebook group with you. She just joined like 2 days ago.
Yeah. Hi.
She is brand new to all of this. Santisha's had a few readings from me, and so I'll let I'll let her go off on that later. But right now we're going to talk about tarot. So I have on my list also that so I just basically have asked Harper right now what words come to mind when I say the word holistic. Do you have any words, Santisha?
Healing.
Okay.
Healing.
And health. I think of healing and health.
Yep, healing, health. I have breathing exercises. I have
a spiritual form of self-care.
Spiritual form of self-care. I also have Eastern medicines. More like herbal remedies kind of a thing. Not doctors. But yeah, like so it's like spiritual healing, spiritual stuff. All right. So with all that being said, hi, I'm Chris, and I am a tarot reader. I got into this in 2020, and I was listening to a writing podcast, and one of the podcasters said that when I have writer's block, I pull out my tarot cards.
That's cool.
Now I have
all of the tarot cards.
All the tarot decks. For TikTok, or I'm sorry, for Instagram, there you go. All these, yeah. So,
I'm sorry if you can hear my dog snoring. She's knocked out.
I can't hear your dog. It's totally fine.
Okay.
I'm just gonna check. I'm looking at my notes here really fast. Want to make sure that I'm on time. Okay. So we're gonna go, and I'm gonna break some of these down, and we're gonna combine holistic with the blocks that we've just kind of discussed. Go back and forth. So if we've got scared of a blank screen, tarot cards are an automatic visual. of your story.
Okay.
They have pictures on them that automatically give you an idea of where to go.
Okay.
You don't have to and I should say we're not going to be summoning demons or anything like that. Like it's not that's some people do that. I'm not that's not what we're doing here.
Oh man.
We're using tarot as a tool to get into our subconscious and to help us
Pull
write
out ideas.
yeah, pull out ideas and tell our stories. Now I do have a spiritual belief with them, but that's a whole separate subject. But I just wanted to, this is the tool that I want to use to help writers get out of writer's block without using AI.
It's fun for all ages and mindsets and beliefs. It's great.
I do have
can be.
I do have a kid's tarot deck. It depends on if the parents it depends on if the parents are okay with people saying nudity.
In a kid's deck?
No, just in tarot in general. The kids deck won't, but I mean some of these
kids deck had nudity. I was like, that's not a kids deck.
No. Some of these other ones they do.
Okay.
And it's not nudity in a bad way. It's more of an artistic beauty. It's not grotesque. So when you are also overwhelmed with life and problems, you can access you can use breathing exercise to start slowing down your mind. Is that him?
That's her. Yeah. Yeah, it's her. Hold on.
It's fine. I just wanted to check to make sure if it wasn't somebody else's. Someone else.
She snores.
Okay, so we've got a puppy that snores on. And
sorry,
that part, but no, it's fine.
She's sweetheart, but she snores.
I just wanted to make sure that it was just not a sound thing on my end.
No, it's not. We'll put her over there. I'm gonna push her bed closer to the door.
So when we're overwhelmed with problems and events, we can do some breathing exercises to slow down our minds and get more into our bodies and get more into the present moment. If you're overwhelmed with a story, a card can help you break your work in progress like into smaller pieces. For instance, a story is usually a beginning, a middle, and an end. If you pick 3 cards, that's your beginning, middle, and end. You can kind of tell the story and weave it in that way. If you want to pick a story, if you want to also pick a card about a character, like I want my character to have some color eyes, you just pick a card and the main color that comes out on the card could be the color of the eyes that you want to use. So it's just kind of like, it's a helpful tool just to get things going. With fear of criticism, you can have, in a meditative state, you're not really worried about other people's thoughts and other people's opinions of where you're at. So if you can, when you're in a writing, when you can use the tarot and get meditative and use it for a specific, every single time that you're writing, you can get yourself into a meditative state to where you are worried about yourself and the present moment, your story. And you don't have to worry about all those other things that we mentioned about the writer's blocks. All those other things can just go out of the window. You want to stay, it can help you be present in the present moment. If you have a lack of direction, also, like usually, like what you mentioned before, when you have a lack of direction, you can pick a card and you can describe the next scene as whatever the scene looks like in the card. Now I'm going to go a little bit different for me, just because with how I've developed my practice, I like to buy decks. And if I have a dog character, I have a dog deck.
I love it.
I can pull cards for and decide what the characteristics of the dog are going to be.
That's so cool.
I have Halloween decks. If I'm writing a Halloween story or a Halloween family movie or something, I want to get into that trick-or-treat mode. So instead of using the Rider-Waite, which is the traditional tarot deck, I can use the trick-or-treat or the Halloween or something of that nature to get more into that Halloween-y spirit. I have a steampunk. I have a mermaid deck. I have vampires, a horror deck, a whole bunch of witch decks. So there's just like the images on the cards can bring out and get you I'm sorry. The images on the cards can help every writer get into their story and feel like they're living more in their story as they're writing it.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of creating this steampunk world, just like out of thin air, which you technically are still, you have a steampunk deck to where you can actually be like, oh, I see the machines, I see the leather, like you can kind of actually visualize it and experience it as you're actually writing it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see, I'm gonna go down. What do I have here? I've got, and the last thing I have here written down is more of an emotional barrier and extreme pressures. When you are using a tarot card, you can actually access what you should do instead of reading the book. Because all books, all tarot readers are going to tell you if you're going to buy a tarot deck, you're just going to throw away the book. Don't even pay attention. Use your intuition. So with your intuition, what counts as your intuition? That is I like to think of it as your six senses. What do you see, hear, feel, taste, smell, and not even feel? There's two feels: feel physically and feel emotionally when you look at the cards. So there's that you can also pull out that way. And I feel like with using the tarot cards, in this meditative state, connecting it more with your story and with your project and with yourself, more of you will go into the story and you will be more connected to your story as you're creating it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to scroll down a little bit more from my notes. Harnessing, I kind of have already said this already, but we're going to go off it anyway. So each card does have a specific meaning, but like I just mentioned before, use your intuition. If you buy a tarot deck, sure, read the book. But don't rely on the book as a black and white meaning of the card. Just because a card has a specific meaning, your intuition might tell you that it's something completely different. And it's also, for your story, it could also mean it's something completely different. You can use them as writing prompts, accessing your sixth senses, accessing your subconscious, different perspectives about who. So that when I wrote down different perspectives, there's a spread that I know of that you can do characters, write down a cast, and depending upon what card comes up, it will help you decide how does that character react to that character.
Right.
It's kind of like just different reactions and different perspectives. The other way I can do this with perspectives as well is I have a before and after and a new vision tarot deck. So the before tarot is the moment before the actual moment of the Rider-Waite-Smith. And then after is the moment after. So what you can do is you can take the before Fool and you see the Fool picking a flower in the before card. And then and I should be showing you cards, but there's just so many. But in the Rider-Waite, he's about to fall off a cliff. But in the after deck, he's already fallen off the cliff. So you kind of already see the story. You can kind of see the story using it that way. And there's a new vision deck where it comes up from an opposite direction to where you can actually see. There she is. She's there. To where you can actually see, create what instead of looking at it this way, looking at like what are they looking at when they look around to you? Like it's coming from a different perspective. So there's a whole bunch. So you can almost create a three-dimensional scene with all these cards. And I said character creation, you have a starting point. I think that this speeds up your writing time. There's a lot of different symbolisms that you can go into, but that's a whole different, symbolism. There's a lot of symbolism in whatever card you get, and it just kind of depends on what deck you have, but that's something you kind of learn as time goes by. You don't have to be all knowledgeable in that at all the time. So now, with this all being said, I want to explore something with you, and I'm going to do this with Instagram people. I don't know if you're going to, if who's here on Instagram either, but so I've picked, I for some reason today, I wanted to pick the Gilded Tarot.
Ooh.
Oh, I don't know why, but this deck kind of came up, and I was looking at all my decks today, and this is the one that for some reason spoke out to me. So we're just gonna go.
I like it. It's cool.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little exercise. And we're gonna
sweat already. Just kidding.
Not that kind of exercise. I'm sweating because it is hot in Los Angeles today, but that is a completely different story. So what we're gonna do is I am going to lead you through a breathing exercise, and we are going to ignore all of the world, and then I'm gonna pull some cards and we're gonna just tell a story.
Okay.
But you're gonna all write it down yourselves, and I'm gonna because there's a line that I'm gonna say at the very end that's gonna be kind of cool, I think. It's my opinion. So let's all close our eyes, or if you don't want to close your eyes, it's fine too, but just get more into your present moment, your present room, where you're at, not even your story, just yourself. And I want you to breathe in for 5 counts, hold for 5 counts, breathe out for 5 counts, and then we're also going to hold that for 5 counts. I just decided I'm going to try doing this today and seeing if that works. So it's just going to slow down the body. So we're going to go breathe in for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold. Breathe in. 1, 2. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so right now you should be very centered in where you're at, your room. You can all open your eyes now. You should be very centered where you're at. You should feel a little bit more in tune with what we're trying to do here and a little bit more involved in the present moment. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to shuffle these cards 9 times. It's a me thing, and it makes sure that it gets all the cards shuffled. And I'm going to pick one. Show you guys all it. And all right, so these are all shuffled now. So the first card, this is the first card that we're going to pick. And what I want you to do is, as you're looking at this card, I want you to write down the very beginning of a story. Just start telling the story. And I also want you to remember to keep in mind, what are you seeing, hearing, tasting, feeling internally and externally, or physically and emotionally, see, hear, and tasting. So I'm going to give you this card. It's the Magician. What do you see, hear, feel, taste, and smell when you look at this? And what's the beginning of the story? And I'll give you, I'll give the Instagram people the card too as well. I'm gonna go back and forth for a second. What do you guys hear, see, feel, taste, and smell? Feel emotionally and feel physically when you look at this card? I give you guys roughly a minute. You don't have to write like a book, but just write down some ideas. of what comes to mind in the beginning of a story when you see this card. Okay, so that's the first card. So now we're going to pull the second card. Now I could shuffle, but we're going to save time. I could shuffle and do all that, but we're just going to pull the next card. So the next card, it came up reversed, but we're not going to do the reverse situation. Because that's a whole different thing. And I don't want to, this is not a tarot class. This is a writing class. This is, now you can't, when a reverse card does come up, you can use it, when you're doing spreads and stuff, but we're going to keep things simple right now. This is card number 2. It's the Justice card. So what I want you to do is I want you to do the exact same thing you did with the Magician. But I want you to not ask yourself, right, how does the Magician get to justice? What is in the middle of your story? What's the middle? Is the Magician fighting? I'm not going to say, I'm not going to give any clues. I'm just going to let you guys write your own stories and what comes up in your own mind. What's justice for the Magician? What is not justice for the Magician? What do you see, hear, feel, taste, and smell when looking at this? Are we good? Can we move on to the next one? Okay, so this is the last card. This is the end. So the Magician has gone from some kind of, I'm not even going to say anything. I'm not going to. So now this is the end of your story. This is the Two of Wands. What do you see, hear, feel, taste, and smell? And now what you want to do is you want to take those 2 cards that you created the beginning and the middle of your story with. What's the end? It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be amazing. Just use it as a starting point. What do you see, hear, feel, taste, and smell? And connect it and make it the end of your story. Okay, I'm going to use Harper and Santisha as a guiding post. Have you guys written what you need to write? Are we done? Yes.
I think so.
Keep going.
Still working with the with the wands thing,
okay.
A little bit.
Okay.
But like you said, it doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be like cut and dry, you know.
Doesn't have to be perfect.
Mm-hmm. And so I think I pretty much just have the first thoughts that I've written down on it.
And Santisha, are you good?
I think so.
Okay. And then I'll give you Instagram people one more little look at the card. And I'm going to do that. Okay. So it doesn't matter what you wrote. I gave you all 3 cards. Instagram, whoever's watching.
Hi, Instagram.
Hi, Instagram. Harper and Santisha. I gave you all of you, the same cards. I'm betting that every single one of you wrote down a different story.
Better
That
not copy.
I'm that's true. You guys
So
probably
Tisha
all,
read my paper.
and Tisha read her paper. Yes,
Yeah,
they're copying. She's copying
stealing my ideas.
from completely across the pond.
It's my fault for writing in all caps, I guess. She can see it.
So with that being said, like we just spent 5 seconds, not 5 seconds, about 2 minutes doing a breathing exercise. We just spent about 5 minutes going over 3 cards, and you've just written a story out of nothing, out of thin air. There's no, it was, and it all came from you. It
Yeah,
came from inside of you and what you were seeing and what you were feeling, tasting, and smelling, and it came from you. It's not coming from anything electronic. It's coming from your own thoughts, and it's it just it's more you. It just came from you, and that's what makes tarot so special is that you can see something completely different in the cards, even though you're all looking at the same thing. So
Nishi.
it's all good. She's a cutie.
Snoring. I love her, but she's loud.
Oh, come on.
My darling.
Sorry, my notes went down. So from here, I can go in a number of different directions. And we're about the 45-minute point, which is actually a little earlier than I wanted it to be, interestingly enough. But I wanted to, okay, so I know that the next things that I want to do is show you guys how spreads work and what spreads would be. But what I want to do is I want to actually kind of open it up a little bit for some Q&A to see what if there's something I haven't touched on, or if something is confusing, or is there something that I need to touch on more, if it all makes sense, what's being helpful, what's not been helpful, what do you need more of with what we've already talked about? Is there anything? Nothing? Good? Nothing? Okay, Santisha and Harper are good, and I'm not seeing anyone on Instagram commenting on anything, so we're just going to keep going. So what I'm going to do now, I guess, I think I'm going to pick on Harper just because you're new and because I just want to get your experience with this.
Okay. I have no experience in this.
I know, no,
I don't own a tarot deck, but I'm going to soon.
All good. What can you describe to me what I'm trying to decide what is your world? Don't tell me like who, but like, is it underwater? Is it outer space? Is it
It's a magical parallel universe to our own. So anything that's happening in this world is canon in the stories. And then there's a magical parallel to it, basically.
so still does it look the same? Or is it just mirrored exactly? Or is it
the land is like the world map is mirrored,
okay,
but the contents of the world are different because of the effects of magic. Like because they have magic in the world, they don't have to build certain things. Like there's not like the metropolis cities might be even bigger or something, or they might be made of different material. But it's not exactly like cut and dry, like everything's in the same place. So left is left, left becomes right, and right becomes left. So everything's reversed.
okay.
Yeah. That's the physical, like how it physically works.
Are there magical creatures in your world?
In the magic realm of it, yes. But in the normal realm, that's us. That's where we're at right now. That's the mundane world.
In the magical world, what creatures are there?
There's it's a whole group called the monster realm. And the monster realm is anywhere where there's not like normal people living, there's no organization, there's no civilization going on. It's just wild creatures. So it's very, very expansive. There's literally almost any type of creature. I have a lot of elemental titans going on. I have a lot of dragons going on. Dragons is a huge one in the group in the world. What else do I got?
Okay, so that's kind of what I needed. So I have two decks that I want to play with what you've just mentioned. But I want to ask you, is there a block that's coming up with your dragons or your monsters?
Yes, always. Yes, they have a whole arc, a whole characters thing going on right now.
So is the story of them having blocks, or is there like community? Like no, sorry, not community. That was a wrong way to say that.
Like how they work?
How not even how they work, but like also like their origins, where they came from, who the character is in the story. Like
Yes.
what blocks are you experiencing toward that? Not just the mythology. Even is there a character, or is there a like I like this character, but something's not connecting him with this? Like what is there some kind of a block that's blocking you somewhere with the dragons or the creatures?
So how the storybook of this is working is it's a chronicle series, and each book is a different character's journey. And sometimes you can see these cross paths, and you can see main characters become side characters, or main characters become villains. And it's just all based on perspective of all these different books, and they're made to where you can read them out of order. And so you can develop your own opinions of certain characters based on how you're reading the series in whatever order you want. And they're made out of chronological order as well. That's a main point. But one of the chronicles is it is a dragon rider, and it is someone who also works with the Titans. It's someone who basically embodies the entire belief system and workings of the monster realm. And remember, I mentioned that character that died in New Year's Eve. That was her. She died.
Oh, she died.
But her so like her story is completed. I have her story done. Needs to be written. But I'm not very good at I have never like written one thing and then completely started a new project and wrote with that as well. I've always worked on this one book for 8 years, and now I have other things on the side in my mind that are operating that I know are happening at the same time.
Okay, so what I'm going to do instead of this is what I'm going to throw this at you then. Do you want to work on the dragons and the monsters, or do you want to work on something that you have not done before?
We can work on the dragons and the monsters. It's that works. Yeah. Okay.
So legacy based. Do you want to work on a specific dragon or a specific monster?
We can work on a specific like creature, like that. We can work on that one character that was working.
Okay.
That was in that story. Yeah. We can work with her.
I have a deck that I have never used before. Okay. Like I've bought it. And I just don't know how to use it. But now that you've said creatures, I'm so glad that I bought it. Hold on.
Dang, she rises from the ashes. She won't leave me alone. This character died and she's coming back all the time. I hope my dog is having great dreams because she's snoring. She's sawing logs.
Okay. So the deck that I have that I bought a year ago that I'm like very interested in using, and I just haven't quite figured out how to use it, is called Necromicon.
Okay.
Has a lot to do with, for those of you who don't know, it has a lot to do with Jules Verne, I believe. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, sorry. H.P. Lovecraft, not Jules Verne.
Right.
But that is the deck, and I'm not entirely sure how to use it yet. But we're going to play and see if we can help you get rid of some kind of a writer's block.
Okay.
One of these things. So, the first thing that I want to ask though is this going to be a character writer block? Is this going to be a story? Is this going to be a world? Is this going to be a mentor? Is this going to be a cast? What is blocking you on this creature?
Probably the journey of the story. There's a lot of different ways and directions that this can go.
Okay.
Because the world is so expansive already. So I guess just direction on the journey.
Direction on the, and this is the direction on the journey for the specific
character, creature.
For the specific creature.
Yeah, because technically it's not human.
Yeah. Well, creature. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down on my own piece of paper. I'm going to write down Harper. I'm going to write down what is your story called? Do you have a what's your world called?
Legacy.
Legacy. Oh,
yeah. Yeah. Wow. It's like it's my whole essence.
Yeah. Oh. I was using this is Legacy.
Cool.
Oh. Sorry guys. I pulled the Gilded and I used the Legacy cards. So sorry, that was my bad. So
I can work with Legacy.
Hold on. I have to
rearrange everything now.
I have to fix this. I have to fix this now. So I know I said Gilded was speaking to me earlier. This is actually the deck that we used.
That's cool.
We actually used Legacy.
Maybe I need to go get a Legacy deck.
I chose the wrong. I had them both here, and I just chose Legacy for some reason. I just inadvertently chose Legacy, and so we actually used these when we were doing the exercise a couple of seconds ago.
It's faded.
We did not use. Yeah, so I wanted to make sure. I know it's all messed up.
Nah, it's fate. It's not messed up. It's fate.
Fate. There you go. Fate. So I'm gonna write down Legacy on here. And then do you have a name for the creature?
Race. R-A-C-E.
R-A-C-E. Is this the name of the creature or the name of the race of the creature?
That's the name of the creature.
Do you know what are you calling the creature's race?
It's a Titan.
Titan. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is I've written down Harper, Legacy, Race, and Titan on this piece of paper. What I want you to do, what I want you to do is I want you to write down what your writer's block is.
Okay.
Write it in a very open-ended question and write it on a, oh yeah, and that's, I'm gonna have to write that too. But like write it as, what does this character do? What should this character do? What can this character do? Not what do I have to make this character do, kind of a thing. Or what are some options for, like, just kind of leaving it open about what the story is for this creature. But don't tell me.
I write slow.
It's all good. It's all good.
I don't know why I write in all caps anymore. Okay.
Okay. So now where are you going to put that piece of paper? On desk?
Somewhere away?
Yeah. Well, just like, where is it in your room? Or
it's in front of me on a desk.
In front on desk. So I've just wrote in front on desk on my own piece of paper. It's like it's what I'm trying to do essentially is let the power of the tarot. This is where the spirituality part kind of comes in. I'm kind of letting, and this is my own practice, but I'm letting the power of the tarot. I'm letting your writing connect with what you've written on what I've written, if that makes sense. I just totally so I've got what I've written. I've told the tarot where to go. I've given the tarot directions about what to pay attention to, what questions to answer. And now we're going to shuffle and we're going to just pull probably just like a beginning, middle, and end as well. Is that all that you're kind of looking for?
Yeah, pretty much.
So let's see what this beginning, middle, and end is going to be. Now, the first thing that you're going to want to know, everyone should know this as well, is that she has complete free will. She?
Yes, she.
Okay.
Thank you.
She has complete free will. And she can take this. I don't know why this two cards got backed up. Oh, that's weird. Anyway, she has complete free will. She can pay attention to anything that she wants, or she can be like, you know what? This was stupid, and Chris needs to just go away and never talk to, I'm never talk to him again. See something completely different in the cards than what I'm seeing. And sometimes a reading doesn't make sense right off the bat, and sometimes you have to let it sit for a couple of days so that you can
let it fester,
and see if some kind of things come to light later. All right, so there's one card in here that's flipped, but if it comes up, we'll see what happens. All right, so the beginning of this monster story. Okay. So I'm going to give you reversals on this just because
okay.
This is an actual, this is just an actual reading. And I had a thought that came to first mind when this first came up. So this is the devil reversed. Now, the devil is more of a card that has come up that is usually it's not the physical devil, or it can be, but it's not the physical devil. The devil card is more of what are we, it usually alludes to like there's a word. I'm losing the word. Overdosing. Drugs, alcohol, sex, things that we just get too involved with, and they're addictive. That's the word I'm looking for.
Okay.
Addiction is usually what the devil refers to as addiction. But I'm also gonna go, this is a creature, this is a Titan, and I'm also gonna go with the reversal meaning a little bit. A reversed card can mean blocked, delayed, healing, or internal energy. Now, I'm going to flip this a little bit differently, though. I think that the beginning of this, yeah, I don't know what the end is yet, but I'll get there. The beginning, I think he is a good Titan, but people think he's a bad Titan. Internally, he's or it could even go the opposite way. Internally, he's a very bad person. And externally, people like him, kind of a thing, if that makes sense. It depends on what you want to see in it. But I kind of feel like if the devil is going to be the outside, I feel the inside, I feel the inside is completely opposite of whatever the world sees about him. Just to use my six senses that I was mentioning before, is he a sea creature?
No, not a sea creature.
Interesting.
But
is he an elephant, maybe?
No. So they do look humanoid, but they have like the elemental abilities, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what this is. All the Titans have an elemental ability, and so she has a specific one.
Okay. We'll think about it. We'll see what happens. But that's a image that, and what you'll have for that. So the middle, we have the Knight of Cups. And knights are the doers of the deck. They're the people who will go out and fight. They're the fighters. They are the people that the king sends out to do things for him to defeat enemies, and the ones that will spill blood when they have to spill blood, kind of a thing. Now, the Knight of Cups is a lover. He is the ultimate lover. He is in love with whoever he's in love with, and he wants to just spread that love. Now, when I first saw this card, the first thing that came to my mind was the guy taking a drink. And I got kind of like a potion. So something kind of like whatever this is. So whatever his journey is, he needs to find, or he wants, doesn't need to, but he wants to find a potion to change him. Or her is
it's a girl, yeah, but it's okay. Yeah.
The creature is trying to find something to drink to change something. And I'm not sure what that would be. I kind of feel like part of me thinks this would be, if I'm going to go, I kind of think it could be physical, because if this is what the creature looks like, let's just say that this is what the Titan looks like, just in general. After he takes the drink, he could look human. What I kind of wonder too is maybe this creature maybe this Titan, sorry, race, I need to just say, maybe race wants to go to our world. Maybe race wants to leave the creature world and come into our world. And in order to do that, he can't do that, or she can't do that when she looks like this. So she needs to find a potion to make her look human. So that's the middle. She has a little bit of a journey. She's looking for something that I feel like it's more of a secret. I'm not quite getting that she's letting everyone know what she's doing. I kind of think that she's on her own journey doing this by herself, and she's wanting to do this, not letting everyone know. Because obviously this is also a very dark place. This is a basement. It's not somewhere that's out in the open, and there is one cat by themselves. Now, something that you could put in here is, I wonder if it's an element, not necessarily a potion, but there's a lot. If you look in the card, there is a lot of barrels. So there is a specific element that will help I don't know if there is in your world, but maybe there is a specific element in your world that will help a creature at least change to look humanoid or more humanoid. But it's obviously gathered in one place. Combining that with cups, though, it's very emotion-y. I kind of wonder if this is like, so another thing that's kind of coming to mind right now, did you ever watch Charmed? Charmed from 1998?
No.
Okay. So there was a demon she was a seer, but she wanted to become human. And it's just, that's the long and short of it. Is the whole episode is she's a demon who wants to become human. So I'm kind of wondering if that's kind of the same thing that's happening here with race. You're going to go that way because that's for you. I just kind of wonder if that's what's going on there with her there. Now the end here. Oh, okay. That changes everything.
My goodness.
I thought, okay, so this is the sun reversed.
Okay.
Now the sun reversed is a card that the sun usually means clarity. It means the sun is like when we're out in the day, we can see where we're going, we can see what we're doing. It's clear. We know that we're crossing the street at the right time. There's no one, not dark alleys. We can see people, we can see what we're doing. And that's kind of what the sun is. It's also sometimes childish. There's usually a child being represented on the card, but this is a different deck. This is the Necromicon deck. So there's going to be, this is a wind monster. So there's obviously heat going on with this. There's some heat for the end of the story. I'm going to be honest, and I kind of feel like Grace doesn't get what she wants. It sounds
nothing ever goes her way.
It's not like Grace, like the sun is usually clarity.
Poor kid.
And again, a reverse card is blocked, delayed, healing, or internal energy. So I just kind of feel like the potion or the plan did not work.
Mm-hmm.
The potion or the plan or whatever she wanted to do did not work. And you can add in an element of wind there, maybe a wind titan that you have.
Oh shit.
A wind titan catches on to what she's doing,
Okay.
and prevents her from doing it.
It's very possible.
Um,
Very, very possible.
it just kind of feels dry. Just like there's a lot of dryness
Mm-hmm.
in this card, and this is reversed. So it just kind of feels, it just feels like
Womp womp.
there's a lot. Yeah, it just doesn't feel very,
Fulfilling.
yeah. And it's very interesting too, because this is a very wet one. The very beginning,
Yeah.
we're very wet. We're very slimy. We're very hydrated. Um, we drink more.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder also if maybe instead of changing, maybe this thing, instead of it's been told to give you some sort of power, some sort of thing to change you into something. I wonder if this potion or this drink, instead of giving you more, like if someone said, drink more water to get you hydrated, what if this is like telling someone to drink salt water? It gets you less hydrated,
Mm-hmm.
like an opposite kind of a thing. So just that's kind of the basic um way about how she had so Harper had no idea what to do with this character, and now she at least has a beginning point to go on with race. It's not it This doesn't have to be a final version,
Mm-hmm.
but this is something that she can at least ponder, and now she has an idea to go forward with instead of staring at a blank white page. um oh, this was going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is going to be are you ready to write some Greek mythology?
Let's go. Let's go.
So I also like to pull the card that's underneath everything. What's going on underneath? The card that I got was the Lovers.
Oh no.
Hold on, hold on. The reason why I'm kind of like, oh, this is gonna be kind of cool, or not cool, but interesting. Look who's getting married. So I just kind of now wonder if Race is doing this for a human that she loves. Now, the Lovers card doesn't always have to be about love, or is always about a lover. The Lovers card is usually about a dedication that you're going to make to someone or something. How dedicated are you to a specific person or a specific thing? And it's usually a choice. Am I going to go with this person? Am I not going to go with this person? Am I going to go with this decision? Am I going to not go with this decision? What do I feel more in tune with? Kind of a thing. But we can also go literal with you here, because I think I'm seeing a wedding that's not going to happen. Is what I'm saying. Um, I'm not sure exactly what that means to you.
Oh,
I'm wondering also with this
yeah.
other element that we had here, the wind monster. I'm wondering if that's this person in the shadows, watching them getting married, ending it. So just let Instagram see. Uh, Hi,
Instagram.
Mika Chu Thunderbolts. I don't know who that is.
Hi.
I hope I said that, but hi.
Hello, friend.
um,
Welcome to the party.
Welcome to Tarot for Writer's Block. So, so this is the ending of what we had for Race, a creature, a Titan, and then this is what's going on underneath. So I do feel like, you know what? Also, too, there's this X that's in the card. I kind of feel like it's like star-crossed lovers a little bit. Your story, your world is sad.
No, no, all of my babies have trauma. Absolutely.
Well, then there
Yes.
you go. You're still, your world is sad.
All of my yes, it's you think just because we're introducing magic in the world, it's gonna get better?
It's gonna get better? No.
No, it means just things get even worse.
So numbers that you probably want to pay attention to would be 15,
Okay.
2, 19, and 6.
All right.
Colors, which I'm actually finding interesting here too. So if we look at these 3 this way, is this the right way for you? Is this opposite? Is this the right way? Have we looked at them?
Yes, that's the right way.
Okay. So if you look, this is complete darkness. But as you look here, there's a little bit of light and the light turns into complete lightness. So there could be something there. Show Instagram what we're doing here. How can I join the Zoom call? Oh, hold on for just a second. So if you, Mika, if you go to my website, it's chrislily.tv. There is a thing that's like, it says tarot for pay what you can, which you don't have to pay anything if you don't want to. But go and sign up with that registration and then it'll send you a link. And with that link, I mean, I guess I could send you an invite too, but I don't even know how to do that. It's just 2 different devices. Let me know if you still have problems doing that. It should automatically send you something. We'll try it. See how that goes. Okay. So I'm going to continue just to let me know if you have problems. So yeah, I just
sent them a link.
So what?
I sent them a link.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. See, this is what helps. It helps to have someone else on Instagram as well.
Hello. I'm helping.
So yeah, I just kind of see, let's see, is she not in yet? Okay. So I just kind of see darkness here, but then it's changing into a lightness. And I'm not sure what that means to you. But, but color-wise, I'm seeing a red and orange and a dark blue. Could be like a red, orange, and a black blue. Something of that nature. Let's see. She still hasn't come on yet.
Which is funny because Race's hair is red, so that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
we love it.
I kind of interesting too is just this. Oh. So I'm just looking above I'm looking above the priest's head and it's an upside down heart.
Oh.
So it just
it's just not gonna happen.
Not gonna be a happy story.
No, she doesn't really get a happy story.
It doesn't sound like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. We went through numbers, we went through colors. It seems like because we got the devil and we got lovers and we got the sun. So the tarot is separated into 2 arcanas, the major arcana and the minor arcana. The major arcana is the stuff that we learn throughout the whole, like in our lives. It's where we're moving to, who we're going to marry, when we're going to have kids. Like it's the big things. The minor arcana is who, it's like what we're going to have for breakfast. So it's not very important. But we've got 3 major arcana cards here. So I feel like this is going to be a very big life event for Race. Whatever, this is probably going to define Race for the rest of your, let's see, I got another person. Yes. Mika!
Well, hello. Oh, we're still connecting to audio. You can't do that too soon. You're not ready.
I can't. I'm not allowed.
I'm just kidding.
Are you there? Mika!
Hit the unmute yourself.
Are you there, Mika?
Are
you there?
Yes.
Awesome.
There we go.
Yay. Hi.
Welcome to the party.
Welcome to the party. We're helping Harper. We're helping Harper tell a story. No one else is asking, so yeah, okay. So I feel like what I'm getting from the cards is that this is going to really change Race's, whatever you're going to do with Race later. This experience is going to define how she reacts to everything else in your world.
Right. Goodness.
This is going to be something that's going to be not something. This is going to, the reason why she's this bitchy, or the reason why she's this is because of this story that you're trying to tell with her.
So like in how the stories work is like the main character of one story could be a side character or any other character in another character's story. It's sometimes we get cameos and crossovers and all that stuff, and it's really fun to see in the series. However, Race is one of those where she has her own journey. She does, and the concept of her story is she is seen as a bad person and she tries to do good, and then by the end of the story you're like, she is trying her best, she is doing what she can, it's just not working out. And then but later in the series when you have another book and you have another character, Race is seen as the bad guy. So if you see that character's story first, you instantly think Race is the bad guy no matter what. But then if you read Race's story first, you're like, well, she's trying, maybe it's just bad luck.
The other thing that I would say too with this is that she is going to be a very emotional person. There are 4 different suits in the tarot, and there's cups, pentacles, swords, and wands. And cups deal with all of the emotions. And since cups is the only one that you got for this entire story, there needs to be a lot of emotion regarding a lot of, and I don't know, is it love?
She's a lot of emotions. She's
like,
an emotional character.
So there's emotion. There's a lot of emotion.
Lots of anger. Lots of love.
So but I would feel like most of her actions are not based on her thoughts. Her actions are probably not based on her passions. Her actions are also probably not based on her physical appearance or money or that kind of things, the material world. It's all based on her emotions and how she feels. She acts on her emotions all the time. Whether it's right or wrong, that's how she reacts to different things. It's just she reacts emotionally. That's kind of all I'm getting out of these cards for now. But is there anything that you think I should probably see about, if there's something else that I can pull out of? Is there something else that you're wondering about? Was this helpful? Was this not?
It was very helpful. Kind of like I knew a little bit about her story, and I kind of like knew somewhat in what direction I wanted to go, but then it kind of, especially the Knight of Cups, for me, because when she does want to go somewhere that she wants to be recognized, wants to be accepted, wants to it's more of the prestige. I think she wants to have prestige, her name to mean something. So she did kind of have something like that, but it wasn't the image that she wanted. So I did want her to move somewhere else, but I didn't know why I wanted her to move. So that's a good reason why, is she didn't have a good image where she was. So now she's moving to where she wants to be more recognized the way she wants to be. So I do like that card for her story.
So just to let you guys all know too, I am deliberately leaving this open for her because this is her story. This is not my story. This is just a guide to help her tell the story. I'm deliberately leaving this open for her.
I need help to interpret, but I am taking the details as I want.
And especially what I said at the beginning, she is allowed to see something different in the cards than what I'm seeing.
Yes.
But I'm deliberately not telling her this is your story because I don't know. I don't know what she wrote down on her piece of paper.
No.
Her exact words that she wrote down.
Oh yeah, the question. Even I forgot what I wrote down.
I let the tarot do its magical thing and let the tarot and the universe connect her to what's happening in this present moment.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I literally do not know. I don't consider myself a psychic. I consider myself more of an intuitive. So I'm literally just helping you tell your story. But if you see something different, you are more than welcome to. But I'm leaving it open specifically because it's not my story.
I forgot about the question I wrote down. Actually, it was on a different page.
Now, did the question match up with everything that we talked about then?
Yeah, the question was, where does the character go and why?
I mean, you left that too.
There we go. Yeah.
So I'm going to actually ask now Santisha, and I know Mika, you just came here a little late, but do you guys have any questions about what I pulled? Or any questions in general?
Mika put a question in the chat.
Oh.
You
did use the Zoom chat. Look at you.
Where's the Zoom?
It's in the bottom, had like a red dot on it.
Hold on. Oh, there we go. Participants, where's my chat? I want to see the
For
chat.
me, I just like wiggled my mouse and then it appeared at the bottom, chat down at the bottom.
Participants, close, no. Oh, here we go. This one, chat. May I ask, how does this work? Okay. This is, hi, yeah. So, I'm going to give you a little quick recap for it. I had to do so many Zoom calls, scared for life. Is IT?
Scarred for life.
Scarred for life. For IT, I had to do so many. Yeah, it's
for it. I had to do so many.
So
IT, like as in schooling.
Gross. I think so. Yeah.
Ah.
So Mika, I'm going to give you a quick recap of what we've been going over. So I'm Chris. I am a tarot reader for Writer's Block, and I am trying to help other writers get out of writer's block and write their stories in a more creative way than writing an AI or and I also want to help writers get right from a place of themselves versus just throwing stuff on pieces of paper or throwing stuff on a wall and seeing what fits. So with me, I feel my personal feelings and why I'm doing this is because every story starts with a person and their own individual experiences. And so the tarot is a tool that writers can use to get into their own subconscious and write their story from a more real place and have it come from more of themselves versus the research that they do online or all that kind of stuff. And these cards can help you get into your six senses. What do you hear, feel, see, taste, and smell when you're looking at them? And also, as you're doing this, it helps you not think about everything else that causes writer's block, all the family obligations or your money problems or your feelings of insecurity. I think that all by being able to get yourself into a meditative state and write in a meditative state, the story comes out a little bit more authentic and you don't have to, and it's a little bit more creative. So I hope that answers the question, but that's a sum of like an hour and a half. So does that help, Mika? Did that help?
Oh yes, I don't know why. I'm so used to IT being on Zoom. I was just like, yeah, let me just type it out, and I forgot that I'm on.
It's all good. It's all good.
I was like, why am I typing this when I can just?
You can just
was that
renders yourself mute.
I'm sorry.
Was that helpful?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
It was. I'm so sorry. I was like, ugh.
So I know that you came in at the very end, but Harper, I'm going to ask these two if they have any questions about what they may have seen, if they have any questions.
I might learn from their questions. So
yeah.
I'm good. I'm
okay.
Here just trying to get any more new information that I didn't already have.
So Mika, do you have any questions about anything? I know that I just kind of summed up a lot of stuff, but what is there a question that we can try to squeeze in with this?
I don't know. I don't know what type of question to ask.
Are you a writer?
Yes, I am actually.
Okay. So I'm just trying to help writers get out of writer's block, and Harper is writing a story with a magical world that's mirrored from our world, and she created a Titan and she didn't know what to do with the Titan. She didn't know what the story was. And so I basically pulled some cards and said, this is a story direction that you can go on about your character. And so I told her at the very beginning that she has complete free will. This is her story. She can do whatever she wants with it. I told her that she is allowed to see something different in the cards than what I am seeing. And also, if this reading does not make sense, sometimes it takes them, let it gestate for a while, and sometimes the answers will come up later. And so I'm just giving her my own interpretations. She doesn't own a tarot deck. And so I know the meaning.
Not yet.
Not yet. I know the meanings of the cards, but that's where the tarot reader comes in, and that's also why I have so many tarot decks. um, no one's commented anything on Instagram. But yeah, so that's ultimately what I'm doing here. I'm just helping writers get out of writer's block. I actually NaNoWriMo is coming up, and I actually have a 3-month program that I'm trying to use to help people if they want to get involved and do like Preptober and prep with it kind of and they can outline first, and then when November hits they can just spew all their thoughts, all their creative thoughts, instead of just like writing all the plot holes and stuff. They'll actually have most of the plot holes figured out. That's ultimately what I'm trying to do here.
Oh, just write.
And just write instead of
just write.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, I do we are at a half-hour point to the end. I want to ask Harper if you have any other questions further from this.
No, I'm thinking I'm okay. So if we were to take a tarot deck and we take like so what we did for this one is we did basically we did 3 cards to help identify the story, more or less like the beginning, like what the character sees, the middle, and then the end. If we were to take a tarot deck and we do that again, would we just when we look at the meaning of the cards, can we look up the meanings of the cards, or can we or we look at the booklet inside of the thing? Because I know some people say throw away the book, or because like if the cards have meaning, it'd be worth to take a look at the meaning of the cards, not just the visual representation alone, right?
What they mean by throw away the book is read to let the book know what the card means, but don't gospel.
Right. Okay.
So if you know what, like I know the devil is addiction, but we made the devil an actual person, kind of.
Right.
So it's just like, I know that the Knight of Cups is the ultimate lover, but we took what was happening in the card more, and it's more about love and emotions versus what's happening in the card. And this is the Sun, and so I know it's about clarity. I know it's got a masculine feel to it because I read the books and stuff, but we didn't really go deep into all that stuff. And also, again, usually it has a child on it, so it's usually very childish, very happy. But this was reversed, and we've got some kind of a wind monster on here. And I know that you kind of like
Wind Titan.
You went crazy when you saw the wind monster.
It makes me upset. The Wind Titan makes me mad in the stories. Almost as much as Race. Yeah.
Well, I said I do suggest reading the book, but ultimately use your intuition when interpreting cards. Yes, read them just to know. Read it just to know, but don't be like, it's the Knight of Cups, but she's very thoughtful. Why is the cups? It's like, don't try to be like,
don't hone in on it.
Yeah, don't hone in on that. Yeah, be a little bit more. This is my story. This is and just kind of see where the cards take you versus being married to what you want it to be. Kind of a thing.
I know we're a little short on time, but how would we do the scenario of like, that's kind of a long-term situation where you're trying to figure out a whole character arc? What about those smaller interactions where we're like, for example, I don't know how this character might react to this character. So how would you use tarot to identify that situation?
I have a spread with that. It's creating a cast.
Okay.
That's a very...
Oh, I have a good suggestion. If you're in the group, right, Harper?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I officially joined it yet.
Yeah, Harper's.
I will hop into it though.
I let her in. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm in the Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah, the Facebook group, when he offers those 5 slots for a free reading.
Yes.
Jump on it. Jump on it. Because you can pick whatever spread that he offers on there.
Okay.
And like some of them are like character spreads, some of them are like the whole outline spread. So, like you can pick and choose, like, okay, I want to focus on this.
Okay.
And he'll do that. It's like he's got so many spreads, so it's like
there's a lot of.
Oh my goodness!
I know the cards, the spreads are just a whole different thing. So that's why I have them in books.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if we were going to do that though, let's just, so for fun, I'm going to just do this just to give you like since we are on here and you asked the question, I'm just going to do this. Let's say we have a character of the 7 of Wands.
Okay.
Okay, so the Seven of Wands, this character is usually someone who is fighting alone. They are usually someone who has to stand up against people who are against them and standing up for the rights of other people. Maybe they have their one only opinion, but other people are coming at them. They're fighting all by themselves. Okay, so they're very independent. They also are very passionate about what they believe in, and that's kind of what a Seven of Wands character would be. So if we chose another character, so now we've got the Moon. Now the Moon is a major arcana card, but the Moon also she's a very the Moon is thought of as the feminine side to the sun. And so she sometimes has secrets. She's very emotional. Sometimes you can't see what she's trying to do. Sometimes she has a plan that you just can see little specks of because the moonlight is not as bright as the sun. It's a reflection of the sun, but not the sun. So you can kind of see where she's going, but maybe she might pull like a whole twist on you, kind of a thing. So you've got these two people, one who's I'm fighting against whatever he's fighting against, and I'm very emotional. I think people should get along. I'm very feminine. So now, if you want
not friends.
So now what you do, you pull another card, and we've got the Five of Wands. So
another one.
Yeah. So fives are usually about conflict. So what I would say if this card came out about how these two characters would think about themselves, they are both differing opinions about a specific subject.
Okay.
They have the wands are so swords are about thoughts and communication, wands are about passion and creativity, cups are about emotions, and pentacles are about the materialistic things. And if I have wands here, I like to think of wands as more like practice, because swords you can actually get stabbed to death. But with wands, it's more like bruises, and it's differing opinions, and it's just like butting heads versus someone's an actual winner, someone's an actual loser. So what I'm getting from here is in the story, let's say that there is a story and one person has one direction to go in and one person has another direction to go in. They're both butting heads to make sure to say that they are both right.
Okay.
Did that answer that question? Did that help?
Yes.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, that is helpful. That worked.
So the spread that I have is the reason why I couldn't really do it like right now is because the spread that I have is you can create a cast.
Right.
The cast is you can create 2 friends, 2 family members, and 2 coworkers. And then you can kind of draw each card and see how each card reacts to each other. And that's how you can create that character to go on and how characters will react to the main character and the story and all that kind of stuff. So it's just like that would be like a whole spread. So it's a fun one, but it's not one you can do in 20 minutes. Is there anything else that you have questions on regarding what we pulled for you?
No, not really. I mean, it kind of worked out well in my favor, what I was thinking already in my head. I hope I just didn't manifest it, but you know.
You might have. If no. not it's divine timing, because you also said that you found this like right now. So like
yeah,
days ago.
I found it like 3 days before it was gonna go.
So now I'm going to throw something. We've got about 20 minutes left, and I'm just gonna see Santisha. I know that we've done a couple of tarot readings. How have your readings come to fruition in the last couple of days? Have they helped? Have they not helped? Has your cards come in? She bought a deck.
I did buy a deck, and I got the Tarot for Writers book. I haven't looked at over the book or the
that one
cards yet. Yes.
Oh,
I haven't looked into that stuff yet, but I'm still letting my the readings sink in. Then I wrote down some of the different ideas that came up, so that I had a list of, okay, what ideas and directions that I could go. And then I was okay, I'll go back, look over those, and then either pick one day and go with it. Maybe the next day go with another one, and still kind of just pondering which direction I want to go in.
So one of the things that we did, so Santisha's come to me with a couple of tarot readings, and we've done a couple of readings on one specific project. And if you ask the tarot cards about one specific question or one specific element too much, it's just going to start muddling things and not going to get anything.
Yeah.
Too much being put into it. And
and like too many,
get a lot of ideas. And
a lot of ideas, too many cooks are in the kitchen, nothing's ever going to get done. So what we've decided, what I told her to do is to go home and write down, take one idea, spend one day and write that one idea.
Okay.
And then go the next day, go write the next idea. And the next day, go write that. So that way you're not writing 3 ideas at one time.
Yeah.
And you can just, and that way you can see what the cards were trying to say and what resonates most with you for your own story. Right. That's kind of her next step, is that she's asked the tarot. The tarot is now starting to be like, you're asking too many questions of the same thing. Figure out what you want, and I'll help you go with the rest of the way, kind of a thing.
Exactly what it said.
So that's ultimately what she's doing now.
Okay.
Yeah. So Mika, I guess we're gonna go over to you now, since you're brand new. Is there anything that I need to go over with you really fast, since you got here a little bit late, or is there something that?
No, I'm sorry. Continue.
Is there something else that I should probably try to cover just while we're here, or how did you find this? I know that you were on Instagram, but how did you?
Actually, Harper. I actually know.
We know each other. We're a little bit of writing buddies.
Okay.
But a little bit of twist of fate. She messaged me while I was sitting here with y'all. So I was like, oh, how weird. Do you want to join?
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the club.
Thank you.
We're both gonna get initiated together. So
Mika, I think I might have mentioned this already. I'm a writing coach. I help writers defeat writer's block. And so I'm trying to help people with their NaNoWriMo projects. Instead of writing the first draft, I want to help them write the 5th draft. And so it's kind of like using the tarot cards as prep for making an outline. And then once November 1st hits, you can just go and be creative, because you're not allowed to write until November. Not allowed. I mean, you can, but whatever. So I'm just trying to get my name out there a little bit, and I'm letting people know that I am a tarot reader who has specialized my practice in using tarot cards to help writers get out of writer's block. And the reason why I have so many so many decks behind me is because if you're writing a dog or have a dog character, I have a dog deck and I have a dog spread, and we can put those together and create a dog character. I have a cat. There is mermaids, vampires, dragons, manga, anime, witches, Halloween, pirates. So just kind of like, I just think that the more that if you are writing a pirate story, I think the pirate deck would work a lot better for you to use versus using the Rider-Waite Smith, which is old-timey characters that are just kind of boring.
Cut and dry, bland.
And I think that the way my practice is designed is to help writers get more in tune with what they're writing from the minute that they're writing it, instead of gearing up to get into it. So the minute that they pull a card, they can already be into the project without having to go spend 10 minutes writing to get more involved into the project. They can already use a visual and just dive in and just already be inside the world before they've even really started writing, kind of a thing. So that's ultimately what I do and what I'm trying to do, and why I'm hosting this live, is just to let people know I'm available to help you with your NaNoWriMo.
Okay.
NaNoWriMo. Do you know about NaNoWriMo?
I do, but
Okay.
I think I participated in, not I tried to, but I worked for Amazon and that's during peak season. So
Yes, it
That's
is.
true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
so
I only
yeah.
did it once.
All you have
I
to do is write 2,000 words a day.
I know, but they had us working 12-hour shifts, so I was not.
yeah. I
Uh,
did NaNoWriMo when I was a sophomore in high school, and I got to 40,000 words.
oh, so close.
Yeah.
I usually get to like 50, that 51,000 just because I like 51, like 32 or something, because some counts are off a little bit. So I'm always just like, just get to 50, 32 or something, and then I'm just done. um,
Give me a second. She's having a nightmare.
Um, I guess like my because like I already have um my novel already outlined.
Having a
Harper,
nightmare.
she knows. Um,
mhm.
I guess like the one thing I don't want to spoil anything.
Nope, don't.
But it's just like the twist that I have for my main character. It's like I'm convinced that it will work, but I don't know if readers or other people that ends up reading it will find it believable, kind of thing.
I
Even
think
though,
that I
yeah,
think that will depend on how much setup you've done in order to make it believable.
mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, that's what tarot can do too, is just helps you like use
Flushes it out.
flushes it out, and you can actually be like it's almost like one of those things to where if you get stuck on your story, some people say, now just throw in dinosaurs. What would if a dinosaur finally just ran right through the street, what would your characters do with the dinosaurs?
Write them.
And just so yeah, I mean, yours would, mine would run.
I would write them.
Mine would run.
Grace would.
um oh, Santisha had to go. Nice meeting you. See you in the group. So she will probably see you.
Hey.
Mika, make sure that
Yes.
if you want to be in I have a Facebook group, Mika, where I actually am helping people kind of guide them toward their stories. So if you want to join that, you're more than welcome to.
Okay.
Um,
Work together.
so I guess for those of you who are watching this now after the fact, go to the link in my bio. There is a way how you can go to my website, and there's a bunch of links to join the Facebook group. I'm also finding out, you can also find out more about the 3-month program that I'm trying to put together. Right now it's at a very huge discount because I'm still trying to build it up, and I would like to get feedback, and I'd like people to let me know what they are looking for and what they're not looking for, what they enjoyed, what they didn't enjoy, kind of a thing. So that is all on my website. And just because NaNoWriMo is happening right now in 2023, there is Camp Nano, which is also in April. So I'm probably going to try to make this happen 3 times a year. So even if you're watching this in December, there's still a moment. And I don't, now that we're saying this like 2 hours in, we'll see what happens. But so I'm a new writing coach that would like to come at your writing with a different perspective, instead of just and help you get the ideas out instead of just festering them with writer's block.
Right. Don't let it sit for too long. You gotta do something about it.
So with that being said, I guess I don't know that I have anything else really. Oh, I do. This is what I didn't do last time. We have to meditate to get out.
Oh, you gotta
So,
get out of the channel energy.
get out of the channel. So Mika, you missed the beginning of this, but if you want to just watch for a second or even do it with us, you can. But I guided Harper into a guided meditation to get into a more of a receptive mode. And now we're going to do the same meditation to get out. And so that then she can go out into the real world. Because I forgot to do this last time. And I think I left people
I can be stuck in fantasy world. It's
I left people in a meditative state as I left. And I was like, oh shit.
Oh no.
Yeah. So
they start driving on the wrong side of the road and everything.
Yeah. So they were all still meditative as I was trying to leave. So
that's funny.
Or as not, and I didn't realize that until I was driving home. I was like, oh crap. I was like, I didn't do this. So let's get you out of the meditative state. And then we can, I guess from there, we can end and just see how that goes. So, all right. So we're going to do that again. We're going to breathe, do this 3 times. It's a breathing exercise. You're going to breathe in for 5 counts, hold for 5 counts, breathe out for 5 counts, and hold that for 5 counts. So breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now go off and play and do whatever you want to do and just don't even worry about what we just talked about. So yeah, so as we come to an end, I just got her out of her meditative state that we put her in about an hour ago. And so now she should be able to go off and actually think more about life instead of her. I mean, you're probably always going to look at your story, but it just
always.
But when you did the meditative stuff and we were focusing on the tarot cards, were you focusing on any of those writer's blocks that we had at the very beginning?
No, I wouldn't say I was focused on like what was preventing me. I think I just really wanted to be open to finding solutions instead, finding the next step.
And that's ultimately what I was what the tarot cards can do for you instead of, because I feel like, or when, not me, I need to not keep saying I feel, but I mean, in general, when you're writing a story and you're in Starbucks, but you keep thinking about what I need to do tomorrow, the story's not coming out. The story is not coming out of your fingertips. And so if you can get into a meditative state, slow yourself down, use some tarot cards, and just be present in your creative moment, you can get your story out a lot quicker, and the story will be a lot more authentic versus when you're trying to combat, I should be doing this instead of I should be doing that. And I'm right. The world is telling me no, and I can't be creative because this person behind, like, if you can get into a more meditative state as you're writing, wherever you're writing, you can get more authentic stories out. And that's ultimately my goal with all my tarot cards and with my project or with my program that I'm creating. It's called Flow Your MoJo. And with my writing group, or not my writing group, my Facebook group that is for writers. It's also called Flow. It's a Facebook groups like Flow Your MoJo, I believe. I can't remember, but if you go to my links in all of my bios, you will find the website, and you'll be able to join all there. So I'm gonna let Harper show Mika how to do all this because you guys are friends. And you like show her where my website is.
Yeah, I got you.
And we'll go from there. With that, the NaNoWriMo thing is starting on September 17th. So if you want to get involved in that, there is a sign-up sheet on my website. It's a little shorter right now just because I was dealing with Labor Day, and also this is the start. I'm trying to get some feedback, so it's not the complete 3 months, but we are going to be working directly through NaNoWriMo, so it's kind of like 2.5, but we can work 2 weeks after if we need to or whatever. But I just kind of want to get some feedback to see if people like it, what I need to add, what I need to take away, and what I'm not thinking about, and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to be involved, just go to my website, and there is a sign-up sheet, and you can join us there. And I will see you guys all later. See you in the group. And welcome to whoever just watched this, and I congratulate whoever watches the full 2 hours. Congratulations.
Good job.
I commemorate you, and I thank you for giving me your attention and giving me your time. So I will chat with you guys all later. And if you guys want to find me more, I'm on Instagram, Facebook,
TikTok,
all of it.
TikTok.
It's all Chris Lilly TV, but TikTok is chrislilly.tv.
Right.
Everything else is Chris Lilly TV. It's X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it. On Facebook, I'm Chris Lilly TV. On everything, I'm just trying to make it all the same. And my website is chrislilly.tv because I like TV. I like television shows, and I ultimately want to be a writer for TV.
That'd be cool.
Showrunner. That's where I started this, being a writer, being creative. But the pandemic gave me a little bit of a detour, so I'm just gonna do it. I'm just paying attention to the universe.
I feel that.
And with that, you guys have a good Saturday, and I will chat with you all later.
You too. Be safe.
You too. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.